Um, like I said, first of all, I just want to say thank you, God. You got to see, as a target individual, the reality they try to impose onto you is a reality that's so falsified and so delusional. Um, at this point, I've been validated that the people doing these things to me are not only doing these things to men, but also to women. And the most disturbing part, they do that to children. They come up with storylines that is based on whatever they can manipulate you to believe. The falsification of reality is at the utmost, and the way they trick themselves into creating a fantasy instead of the reality of what they're part of. The reason they do that is because as they vilify target individual, they want to make themselves feel better. Now, I'm not perfect. I'm never going to stand here and present myself as a perfect being. But one thing I just got to say, I just thank God I'm not involved in this, in the way these people are involved. Because hearing the testimonials of what these people are part of just says it all. And the part that makes it easy to involve themselves in this program is the easiness of doing what they do. It doesn't take bravery. It doesn't take genius. It just takes somebody who's willing to be compromised to an nth degree. And a lot of people are able to do that. I mean, we're talking about children being tortured and the way they can block that out and make me think that I should look at them as some kind of avengers. I should look at them as protectors. The level of delusion, the way they want to be so delusional is something that I'm not going to let them have. I can't. There's too much blood on their hands. What they've done to women and men and children are things that you can't even comprehend. This is the kind of people, the cowardness of it all, the disturbingness of it all, the awfulness and the horribleness all combined into what they do is just, those are the people that you, like, that's better stop expecting something. Is people that when I look at them, I don't delusion. I don't see it. I don't delude myself into the reality of what they are. They're just opportunists and low lives. I've heard so much horrible things of what they've done, and to imagine them try to make me believe that, no, you've done too much. You've done it all. Pay, and I'm like, you delusional trash. I've said before the way they try to present themselves. We're doing it for Brittany. We're doing it for Courtney. Or we're doing it for what you did as a kid. It's like, well, mon Dieu. What they've done to women is so horrible. Matter of fact, because of that purpose, I started talking to somebody called Brittany that I've been talking to many years, living her best life with her children. And I like to listen to the testimonials and reading the email I sent to her. Just because I know what they do to women, destroy their life. And they do these cowardly ways of destroying, this disgusting trash. That's the reality. They know they sold their soul to entities that, if I was, I'm not saying I'm not religious, but I don't even want to give them that. But they sold their soul to pedophiles and to the devil. Well, I don't even want to say pedophiles. Yes, they sold their soul to pedophiles. And when they try to present themselves as these protectors of women and children, I will never forget what they do. Listen to these horrible things they do. The testimonials are just global, all around the world, doing horrible things to women.
I'm currently a speech-language pathologist
and children.
working in private practice with young children.
This is me on TI Day 2024, 2020.
Stalking, electronic harassment, microwave torture, B2K abuse, and I'm asking you to help us end this crime against humanity, which has impacted men, women, children all around the world.
Hi, I'm Wan from Malaysia. My family are targeted in your region. We are victims of cyber torture, and I will not give up. I will fight to the end.
And I'm a victim of organized
We need this to stop.
electronic
That's it.
harassment. and I'm speaking to you on International Targeted Individual Day. I live in the US, in Illinois, and I'm a victim of organized
We need this to
stalking,
stop.
electronic
That's it.
harassment, microwave torture,
I've been a target for 9 years.
24/7.
We've become more aware of this crime and those.
This goes on. There's a lot of women being tortured by these bottom feeders, this low life. Raping them, torturing them, destroying their life. The awfulness of what they do to women is just things you can't even understand. Then we mean that now we're different, we're this group of femme, and they make themselves talk. Listen, I'm a target individual, and so with being a target individual, they create these psyops. Because the reality is this is a massive government running this program, such as the DoD. The technology, the funding, the resources, all coming from these governmental entities, which have disturbing issues. But this program on its own destroys so many lives and women's life. And this piece of shit contracted to do this thing because the opportunities, the benefits, the incentives that they want to enjoy. And so they want you to see yourself in different lights. Matter of fact, I love myself more than ever. I'm just so thankful that I didn't fall in that trap where I could be involved in a program that is doing these horrible things to women. The testimonials are disgusting. Listen to some of these things they do. Listen to how nasty these things get.
You feel that you've been injustice. You mean as far as the Justice Department feeling me?
Well, in terms of your being a victim.
You mean what I'm feeling?
Yeah, explain a little bit to me how you perceive yourself as being.
I have actual photographs of burns on my body. When I went to my doctor, the response was, how do I know you didn't do that to yourself? How do you even address that? I've passed 2 psychological evaluations. Not 1, but 2. The one physician said, you're mentally sound as a bell. He said, I don't have any idea what's going on with you. When I go to sleep, when I go to try to sleep, I feel like I'm being lit up like a Christmas tree. I feel every cell in my body just bouncing out of my body. I can't even describe it. I get electric shock of my rectum. I get electric shock of my nose. I've woken up with burns on the end of my tongue. I've had burns on the palms of both my hands. I vibrate. I can barely hold a piece of paper without quivering. Does that answer your question?
I'm trying to find what's the source of
The source of these exotic weapons, they talk about in 2970 that if you would pass it, it might give other communities the courage to do the same thing and show our Defense Department we are not the enemy. We are not to be attacked. We are not terrorists. Most of us are defenseless women.
Imagine people involved in this program saying, oh no, we pay back for what you did to this woman. To them, like, this woman will be destroyed the same way as this woman if she was put in this program. They're even coming up with stories. One day there's this woman, they say Courtney, her name is Courtney. I'm making that name up. And there's something that happened, and we met our night after going out. We had like a night together, and the next morning she stayed over, and we, ended up, continuous, interacting. And then in the morning we talked, and then, she went out to come back for asking for breakfast. Anyways, during the whole process, it's like this one thing here that you did wrong, and they try to make me think that now you had a child with her. The way they come up with stories every time is something different. It's like, now you're a father, you're pregnant, she got pregnant, you're a father of some age, and it's like, no, what it was, I don't want to be graphic, but it's like, it's anal, like some stories that they come up. It's like, trash, you a bunch of low-life bottom feeders. Because the things they tell me about is what they do. The women they've raped, not only using this technology that can destroy them, literally rape them, but they do these things where there's this woman called Katrina. She woke up bleeding from everywhere. And She obviously was assaulted. She's in pain, hurting. She goes to get a rape kit because you gotta understand, hospitals are compromised. All these entities are compromised. They refuse her a rape kit. This is part of this program. They're making up stories, and this is coming from people who do these things in this program. So for me, when I see them, I'm thinking about the horrible things they've done to women. I pray that Courtney, that Brittany, whoever they try to present themselves as protectors or avengers of, never put in this program, because what they would do to her would be things that you can't even understand. They want you to forget the reality of what these people do. The sexual tortures are consistent with a lot of testimonials from women. And they won't be, no, it's our torture. This program tries to create a delusional reality where they can confuse target individuals to make them believe everything is different. Where, no, we're this group of people. No, we're this group. Obviously, this is a government-led program. I've seen these bottom figures. I'm like, you would not be able to do any of this. You obviously are just a participant. You're obviously just like a... Matter of fact, if I'm going to give this torture of mine to somebody, it's going to be the individual who put me in this program, which I know where he's from, and he's not this femme fatale, fierce woman. He's an extremely conservative individual with very much influence on the side of the almost most conservative side of things. But because of that, they were trying to reverse that, change the reality of that, and make it seem like it's this group of femme fatale avenging. And they have these tactics throughout different targeting that they make you believe that this is anything but this government doing this thing to you. So for me, it's been a lot of like women try to be like, no, you pay, take that for it. It's like trash you involved in. Do you see what this woman is taking? She's been taking this torture for years and years. You're involved in the same program. Some people doing this thing to me, I know for sure have participated in the torture of women. But for my targeting, you're blocking that out. You're blocking out the torture of this women. It's like, now you've done it all. No. You heard what you guys have done it all? I'm just thankful. No, actually you're right. I've done it all. I was in a program that is torturing women and children, pushing them to kill themselves, causing mass shootings, manipulating psychologically, physically, emotionally, any other ways, ruining careers, ruining children's life. Let me repeat that. Ruining children's life, completely destroying them, making them sick, ill, suicidal, blinding them, handicapping them, making them deaf. I mean, this list goes on. Traumatizing them psychologically, physically, damaging them physically, psychologically, all these things. This is what I've done. This is all I've done, yeah. Trash us. This is what they're involved in. What I've said, some of these people done these things to me, doing these things to me, have participated in doing. They've definitely, I'm sure, more have participated in the torture of women. Children, I'm sure some of them have participated in the torture of women and children. And I don't care who just started doing this just because of me. You joined something that does horrible things to children. Delusional trash. You know some of the things they try to make me think of? Because I say how they traumatize children and do horrible things. Talk about the stupid thing I did as a kid. Do you want to hear what they do to kids? I was, they tell me how they're going to make me gasp. I'm like, yes, you're going to suffocate me. And she was saying that in a way like that was fierce. I'm going to suffocate you. I was like, yes. Yes, of course you will. Of course. I'll gasp. Yes. Duh. I will gasp. You know how I know this?
She has also grabbed her crotch, saying, "Ow."
Hold
And
on.
this was
This is a 7-year-old with autism.
This was used to threaten the affected of all of my clients. I eventually apologized working in private practice with young children. I had a 7-year-old client who has autism.
7-year-old with autism. Listen to what they do with her lungs.
One day she had a large, severe. She has also saying "ow,"
Sexual
and this
torture,
was used
but
to threaten me with severe sexual torture. One day I also observed her gasping for air a few times in the same way that I do when I am being more severely suffocated. The suffocation had been in a mild state for a while up until this point. Many of their torture methods are cyclical in severity. Right after I saw this child being suffocated, then I began to experience very extreme suffocation all day.
So, yes, you will suffocate me. How do I know that too? Because once, of course, that it has happened to me before, them doing this thing to me. But to find out they do this to children too. But with me, it's like, no, but when we do it, we're feminist. We're just like, and they start being like child, and they start to use this like tonality. No, we are. It's like, yeah, of course you are. You're anything but this mass government. You know what I'm saying? That. I've been validated in ways that is just surreal.
8 billion brains and information current. Government, with the Chinese government, were evil aliens, were Satan's, satanic ritual abuse. And I've heard all these stories. One guy believed it was some 14-year-old kid with an Xbox that lived next door. The trickery really is that great when you're under hypnosis, that people will believe something other than a massive government.
So they want me to think that we are this femme fatale and we are avenging for all the wrong things you've done to women and to kids, little girls. We protect them. You heard the 7-year-old little girl who was suffocated and sexually tortured too. And there's even younger babies, completely like infants, 3-week-olds, tortured by this trash. But listen to how disturbing it gets.
A couple of days later, a female said the same thing. Oh, just shot in the face. Stupid shit like that. But what I really noticed is, with the voices go, it's a bunch of females. And I'm like, bro, really? You're not a woman. What real woman would soften on the female or sit back and allow this to go on? You really think? They think there's nothing wrong with them. Basically.
A lot of females, maybe those females are not these woke females. They're just like these mean females. In every way, it's been validated. They can create a psyop and make you believe that this is anything but what it obviously is. You know how they would try to prove me wrong? In every way, they try to find ways to make me think in a negative, like to prove me wrong, so I doubt myself. Even like I'm at work, I ask a question because I'm kind of confused. I need to just like clarification, and I'm asking like, which is the norm. If you think something, like you just ask a question, or things, you say things in order to kind of have a clarity. They use this as a way, like, you see, you were confused there. But the thing that just kind of validated me in ways they don't understand, but they try to use that as a way to break me down. They point it out, and I know sometimes they kind of drive you to see something in a certain way. Not even see something, but they kind of make you get information that they want you to have because they want to make you think a certain way and then prove you wrong. It's a lot of mind games because the reality is they're trying to make you believe this false reality. So they dropped me to see this bill called S1413. 116th S1413. The name of the bill is End National Defense Abuse Act. Right? It's Bill S1413. it is so disturbing what this act is supposed to be for. In 2019, this bill was supposed to help and assist the Pentagon put a stop on this ongoing horrible nastiness that's happening in this Pentagon DoD network. In 2018, Internet Child Protective Services was ranking networks based on the networks that is downloading the most, sharing, downloading, and creating the most child porn. There's about 2,900 total. Out of the 2,900, out of the 2,900, the DoD ranked 19th, 19 out of 2,900. Showing that the DoD network, meaning that this network is used for sharing, accessing, and creating child porn. The network, meaning the people are getting on that network to do these things. Basically, you even using devices of the DoD to do this nastiness. And this bill is to try to combat this nastiness. Let me repeat, combat employees at the DoD downloading child porn using not the private computers or nothing, using the DoD network, using the DoD network. Not what they do when they get home, not what they do on somebody else's network, on the Department of Defense network, on the most surveilled network you can imagine. They are using that network and sharing child porn with that network. What you know, there's all kind of surveillance being utilized to protect security matters. So that means they don't give a shit, excuse my language, or a fuck, to the point where they will go on the network where there is the most surveillance you can imagine to share, create, access child pornography. It is ridiculous. They are the top tier in 2018. This is not too long ago, 2018. So they point me to this bill, because when you look at the bill, you don't know if it passed or not, because if you track that as 1413, you go through everything, you see, okay, it was introduced in May 2019, and then you see in 2020 it was dead. So I'm like, okay, well, it didn't pass then. This bill wasn't asking too much. This bill wasn't like saying like, no, just like, we have to provide training for this kind of things, maybe implement some external like entities to kind of do the investigations and all that, like really basic things, which the truth is, it looked like it's just more for like presentation purpose. The reality is, these people don't prioritize this, and they will not prioritize with the bill now because they're running the show. If they want to make some, maybe every once in a while they're going to do it, but out of all the nasty things they're going to see, they're not going to call out, they're not going to do much. So I know that's not going to change. And if they're ranked 19th in 2018, I don't think they're still in the top tier today. I'm still looking for that ranking. If you're watching that and you know a ranking of 2019 or 2020 or 2023 in regard of where the DoD ranks in regard of child porn shared within the network. They were 19th in 2018. I wonder what ranking they have today. But anyways, I look at this bill, and looking at this bill, it looks like it didn't go through. I'm like, whoa, what? I was like, this bill is not going through. It didn't go through. Look, it's crazy. Because I'm like, at least I would think they'll pass. Because to me, the bill means nothing to me. The bill just points out the issue that's there. So passing or not passing, I don't think this bill was going to change anything, but I was surprised that it would not pass. It's like, this is too much. This is like I would imagine that they would do it just for the purpose of looking like they're trying to do something, right? Just like for the motion of it. So I'm like, this thing didn't even pass. And they're like, nah, it passed. I'm like, okay, maybe it passed, but it didn't pass there in this specific bill, look. But what happened is, it passed through using the annual Defense Budget Act. So it didn't go on its own, but it was put together with the national budgets for the defense. So they have this whole like national budget thing, and so through this bill, they were able to kind of put it in together. So it didn't go on its own, but it passed by going into something else. And so they put this together. And so like, you see, we told you it passed. So now they want me to start believing this nastiness they do to me. Instead of like, what passed? The bill to try to stop the problem of pedophilia that is extremely crazy? And so now you want me to believe these manipulations? This pedophilia type of torture? These psyops? These people try to hold on to anything. It's like, no, you validated me more. They want you to see them in a credible way. This shows less credibility. Regardless if it passed or didn't pass, to me, if it passed the first time, I'll be like, okay, it passed, but look at what the reality. And I was shocked, like, really, it didn't pass? So I thought maybe when they say it passed, what it means is it passed after. Like, maybe it didn't pass in 2019, but it passed maybe in the following years. That's how it passed. But the way it passed, it just went through like a different, mixed with some, like the different bill, and then went through like that. It's like, you see, we told you. Like, and all along, I think the reason why they're pointing out this bill is so go look at the bill, look like it didn't pass. And they'll be like, no, it passed. And I'm like, well, it looks like it doesn't pass. And so they try to use this kind of tactics to make you be doubtful of what they do. It's like, oh, so you think today, now, after seeing this bill, I'm going to be doubtful that you guys don't do the pedophilia type of torture? I'm going to be doubtful that you guys don't torture children? I'm going to be doubtful that you guys are not the same people that is doing horrible things to women? What? You validate me more. It's like, no, we are this femme fatale, we are. It's like, you guys are pedophiles, low-life trash, and capable of doing the foulest things to the most vulnerable people. And this, what you do to me, is a psyop. And I'm so thankful they pointed out this bill, even though now they're charged. Now we told you it passed, so you thought, so you should be like, no, thank you for showing me this. Because now I know there was a ranking in regard of how pedophilia-centric these entities were. And you showed me. For me to think it didn't pass because the bill said dead, it's because I saw a look, I was like, okay, I'm not seeing. I don't understand how this thing works. But to find out that, it's like, okay, well, that was not me seeing this. It was just a validation that there is a problem with pedophilia to that level. Making me seeing you guys more like pedos. Because we know all they try to say, no, we mapped it, we should go through. It's like, these people are trying to, like, they try to stop people from using Department of Defense network and devices to stop these employees to use their devices provided by these DoD entities. Stop using those devices to download child porn. But they give no shit that they were even willing to do that. This bill is just trying to stop them from using the devices that the DoD gives them. Like, do your thing home. Don't do it. Don't use our And they're like, no, but you see, it passed, and you thought it didn't pass. Yeah, I didn't think it passed because it showed it didn't pass. But you think now I'm seeing you in a credible way? In any ways they can. They want they want you to see them in a credible way. They are fraudulent trash. Do you think with the amount of issue that's ongoing in these entities, they can tell you who you are? The manipulation they have done to us is very pedophilia-centric, which correlates with what's ongoing in these entities running this program. The DoD is running this program. The same entity where a bill was needed to tell them to stop using or try to stop these employees using the DoD network from downloading child porn, even produce child porn. You see, all along I was right. They have problem with pedophilia. They project onto you. And they use psyops. As this man, Robert Dawkins, said, they try to make it seem like it's everything but a massive government doing this thing to you. You heard a woman saying there's so many females involved in that. You're not even a woman. What kind of woman will be involved in this? This trash that now wants to be this psyop of femme fatale, feminist. And they think I'm going to let them live their fantasy, knowing exactly who put me in this program, and I understand at this point what this program is all about. So anytime they try to prove you wrong, they're going to use that to try to gaslight you into be doubtful into how you see them and how you see this program as. See this program as this. This is run by governmental entities linked to the DOD. See them as this. Perps contracted to implement these tactics onto you. They will create a psyop, a facade, to make you believe is a reality that's falsified, and they will vilify you by any means. Them doing these horrible things you just heard. To all my target individual, we are lucky. We are blessed. Because we could have been doing these things. And to hear some childlike people, now we are, it's like, no, you're not. Matter of fact, I'm so validated that I can say a name of this alleged pedophile that they can't even say his name, or they are restricted, or somehow there's some kind of restriction. I say his name. I've said at first I thought maybe they're playing around, right? Like you see what they did there with the bill. Maybe they're just acting this way. One day they'll be like, no, actually we can say, and then they say the name. No, I went to an office where I work, and this femme fatale, super like fierce, and she was like confident. She was like, even she had like her glasses. She was like swinging her glasses and saying things you can hear like she was interacting with me via V2K. And I look at her and I say, Roy Moore. She started hiding. I'm like, oh my gosh. They truly are restricted. I couldn't believe that was true. I thought at first they would try to do the same thing that they do with the bill, like try to make it seem like, oh, we can't say. Oh, actually, we can say. And I started seeing how red she turned. It's like, oh my gosh. Why can't they? Are you serious? No. You can't. This is too much. Hold on. And I'm like, this is just, it's a joke. It can't be real. Are they pretending they can't say it? Say
and
this.
Go a food courting. More. Moore even went to the mall to get into the holiday spirit. One woman recalls that she was 14 and working as Santa's helper at the Gadsden Mall in 1977 when Moore first spoke to her and told her she would look pretty. 2 years later, when she was 16, he asked her out on dates. He hit on one of Santa's elves. Well, a true evangelical, he's putting the Christ back in Christmas. Wow. And it wasn't just the mall, folks. One Alabama journalist claims that Moore was also banned from the YMCA for his inappropriate behavior of soliciting sex from young girls. And don't forget, he did that while he was assistant DA.
His name is Roy Moore. The reason why I bring up this name is because the employee who put me in this program is so conservative that they donated money to his campaign after this allegation came out. And this psyop that I'm surrounded by is supposed to be like this femme fatale, feminist, super liberal, progressive, which I know is a psyop. Tomorrow they can be all men who are extremely conservative, who all voted for Roy Moore. But I understand that. And he said, to say his name, he's like, Moore, like, I'm like, what? And still try to sound fierce because they have a psyop to present themselves as. I was like, you guys are bottom feeders. Truly bottom feeders for these pedophiles. Truly nasty low life that even torture children and women and then try to be fierce. Now you pay. oh, what you did, no, you did so much. I was like, what? Listen to what you guys do to women. It's like, did I do it? Yes, of course you do that. They think I'm going to be like, no, this is like a different group with their own money, that they truly try to confuse you and make you believe that this is some kind of like anything but this massive government doing this human experimentation. Not even human. They're using human subjects as test subjects to develop this technology that control and manipulate us in so many ways. But no, we are banned with that. Such a clown. To all my target individuals, stay strong.